All right, so here's how you turn your weaving into an alligator or a crocodile. So let me show you the parts that I have. I've got my arms and my legs, which all look the same, but I'm gonna turn them in different directions when I glue them on in a minute. So I got that. I also will need a tail, and I'll show you how to do all this in a minute. I'm just showing you my parts for now. And we've got his eyes, which aren't glued on yet. Okay, and I'm using construction paper for all of this. You could always draw your eyes on with crayons or markers or colored pencils if you would wish. I drew on his nose with a black Sharpie, and then the inside of his mouth I did a pink tongue. And we're going to do some teeth as well, which I don't have yet. So to get this started, here's what you want to do. So you take your weaving, because you got to figure out how big to make the face. We're going to start off with the face. So I'm going to use pink because I feel like making a pink crocodile. All right, let me see if I can. All right, I got this. All right, I got limited view here, so what I'm trying to do is make sure it fits into the camera. All right, so what I'm going to do. Here, let's do it this way. There we go. You gotta figure out how wide to make the face. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make a mark right there. And now I'm gonna move my weaving away, because what I just did right there is I know how wide to make the face, because that was the edges of the weaving from there to there. And now what I'm gonna do is just kind of like draw like a triangle from the edge, the corner of my paper right there, all the way to the other side. So I got something that kind of looks like that. And now I'm going to cut it out. And I'm actually going to use this as a tracer for the underneath side of my alligator or crocodile. So I'm going to turn my paper over and use the other side right there, and then just use this as a tracer. Put that down. It fits pretty well. And then I'm going to trace that shape. And then cut that out. So I got the top and the bottom jaw of my crocodile or alligator. I really haven't decided which one it's going to be yet. All right. So now, eventually what I'll do when I glue them on, it'll look like that, and mouth will open. The eyes can go there, the nose can go there, and then if you wish to add a tongue and teeth inside, you can. So let's finish this part. For the eyes, what I did is I got white paper and black paper. So I'm just gonna cut out a small section right here. And watch how I make the eyes. I'm gonna do it really easily. So I just cut out a small square. I'm gonna fold it in half. And then I'm going to draw one circle like that. And because I folded it, now I only have to cut once, and then I'll get two identical eyes. Okay, so I cut through 2 layers of paper, and now I have the 2 black dots for the eyes. All right, so for the white paper, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm quickly cutting out some white paper that I had laying around. Look, it's my scrap paper. Look at that. My doodle sheet. I'm always testing colors. All right, so I'm going to fold that in half. Actually, that might not be big enough. All right, let's find out. Sometimes in art, you make a mistake, and that's okay. You try again. All right, I think this will work actually. All right, so I folded the white paper in half again, and then I cut out 2 eyes. Look, this will work. I got it. Look, eyeball. Eyeball. There we go. Now I'm going to glue it together before I get too much farther. That way I don't lose all my pieces. And if you watched my previous video about gluing, you'll remember that this is Elmer. And Elmer has a nose, and you have to open them, and then you listen for that soft sound he makes, and sounds like he's breathing. All right, now he's working because he's breathing. So just a dot, not a lot. Just a dot, not a lot. And then I'm going to go ahead and glue down my eyes to my pink paper. I'm going to add a couple more dots to this. Make sure it stays. Glue that down. And then glue that one down. And then for the tongue, you can kind of make a very skinny piece like I did for mine. Okay, I just cut out just kind of like a very long, kind of like a wobbly piece like that. You can make it bigger or smaller. Or I think this time what I'll do, instead of using paper for my tongue, I'm going to open his mouth, and maybe this time we will draw a tongue, and then we'll color it in. Okay, so I'm not going to color my whole tongue in right now, but that's just another option. Okay, color in the whole tongue. So that's another way to do it. All right, so now I got my face almost done. I'm going to add two nostrils. All right, I'm going to put that aside. All right, for the tail, it's like another triangle, but a little bit longer and skinnier. So what I'm going to do is look at my scrap paper that I used for cutting out the face. I'm not going to waste a bit of it. So I'm going to take this part right here, and I'm going to cut it and see how it looks. It might not work. It might not look right because it might not be long enough, or might not be wide enough. Oops. So if I glue that like that, see how it's not long enough, or it's not wide enough, it's not fitting the length of it. So same thing, when you made the face, you got to do the same thing for the tail. So you got to make sure that it's meeting the corners of your weaving like that. Okay? All right. Now, for the feet, when I made the feet, I kind of drew them so they're kind of like wider at the top and skinnier at the bottom, and I gave them some like claws. So, I mean, you got a variety of ways that you can make yours. You can do it like I did. You can make them longer, skinnier. I'm going to let you guys be creative and try to figure that out, okay? Now, I'm going to piece my whole project together now. So I'm going to take my eyeballs. I haven't even glued them on yet. Right. I'm going to put a line of glue around the edge this time, and then add maybe one dot to the middle. And I'm going to put that eye right there. I'm going to take my other eyeball, add a little bit of glue. He looks a little silly. I wanted to make a silly looking crocodile. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line of glue right along the top of my weaving right there. And then I'm going to put my crocodile head on top of that. And then I'm going to flip it over, because now what I need to do is add the bottom jaw. But I want to make sure it's flipped over like this. That way when I open it, I can see the tongue. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a line of glue on the other side of the weaving, and then glue that down. And you want to try to make sure that the top and the bottom jaw are pretty lined up close to each other. Now be careful when you're playing with it when the glue is still wet. You don't want anything falling apart. So now we got, look, so now we got his mouth. All right, I'm going to turn him around. I'm going to glue his tail on. Just like that. Okay, there's his tail. Now I'm going to do the legs. Now maybe I want to have, do it down here first. Can go that way. We can flip it around and have it go that way. I kind of like it going that way. It's gonna make it. I'm gonna make it look like he's kind of crawling. So I'm gonna add a little bit of glue right there where I want it. Glue that down. Gonna do the same thing to the other side. I'm gonna put the leg going that way. Okay, gonna glue that down. Add a little bit of glue. Glue that down. All right, and now I'm gonna do his arms on the front. So that leg was going that way. So I could have the front arms go that way, or I could flip it like that. That might look kind of cool. All right, let's get that on there. Oh, I'm liking it already. All right, let's do the other one. He's almost done. Then we're going to talk about teeth. All right. So look what I've got now. Look at him, isn't he cute? He's adorable. Trying to open his mouth. He doesn't want to open. Oh, he's so cute. Maybe you don't want him to have teeth. Nah, he needs teeth. All right, let's get his teeth on there. Okay, so the teeth, what I'm gonna do, I'm always using scrap paper. Let's use the scrap paper again. I'm gonna cut out, where do I wanna cut it? We're gonna cut it right here. I'm gonna cut out a real skinny piece. It's like a very skinny rectangle. Oh, we're gonna use that as the back. See that little bit right there? We're not gonna use that. Flip it over. All right, and now what I'm gonna do, excuse me, Crocodile, I'm gonna start cutting out some triangles. So instead of having to draw each triangle, because that's an added step, use your scissors on an angle like that. Do you already see that little white triangle in the corner right there? Snip it, triangle, a tooth. Do it again, look, triangle, snip it, a tooth. Keep going. So this time I cut straight with my scissor. The next time I cut it on an angle. Okay, straight on an angle. All right, that's enough teeth to get me started. So all the teeth are kind of like triangles because crocodiles have really sharp teeth. All right, now let's put them in. Now, there's a couple different ways that you can add teeth. You can just kind of glue them like that so it looks like the teeth are kind of like hanging out of his mouth. I've seen some first graders get really creative. This is a little bit challenging. But when you bend it like that, then you have like this little tab right there. And if you put glue on that and you stick it in his mouth like that, see how it looks 3D like it's popping out? Let's try that real quick. I'm going to put a little bit of glue. Oops, sorry. A little bit of glue right there. Okay. And now I'm going to lift up his jaw and I'm going to put, it's a tooth. Now be careful though when it's still wet. What you might want to do is prop something in his mouth to kind of keep that tooth from, look at that, touching the bottom of the table or the project, because if you do that it might get squished. So I'm kind of just propping it open to let it dry. So you can do teeth that way. See how it's kind of like hanging like that? That's really cool. Or you can just add teeth like this. This is another way. And then put them at the top, put them at the bottom, and then when he closes his mouth, his teeth kind of, here, let's flatten that one. There we go. And his teeth are kind of hanging out everywhere. It looks like he needs braces. They're all kinds of crooked. And he's done. That is it. One more thing. Oh, and I'll add the rest of those teeth a little bit later. One more thing that you could do with a crayon, colored pencils, or markers is to add some of like the texture that a crocodile has. It's kind of rough and bumpy. So I'm just gonna real quickly, I'm gonna test this color. Let's see what it looks like. Yeah, that's good. add maybe some crocodile scales. So maybe you want to do something like this. See that? Keep going until you fill up the whole tail. Okay, you could do something like that. You can add like little ones on his arms and his legs. If you want to, you can add some to his to the weaving body that you already made. I think I'm gonna leave the weaving part alone. All right, let me hold up my phone again. It's a little bit higher so you can see what he looks like when he's done. Oh, yeah, he's adorable. I gotta give him a name. What should I name him? Or is it a girl? You guys need to let me know. So there you go. Have fun, first grade. Bye.